Good evening. After a grand roadshow yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi filed his nomination from Varanasi today. It was also an occasion for a show of unity for the NDA. Meanwhile, campaigning for the fourth phase of Lok Sabha elections has reached its peak. Leaders from across political spectrum are leaving no stone unturned to get voters on their side before the end of campaigning for this phase that happens tomorrow evening. All that and other big stories from India and the world. We'll also take stock of the security situation in Sri Lanka after the devastating bomb blast. This is Newsnight. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. First, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi files nomination from Varanasi, performs puja at Kal Bhairav Temple before filing his papers. NDA leaders gather at PM's nomination in a show of unity. PM Modi expresses gratitude to the people of the temple town, says Varanasi is committed to a bright future for India, says for the first time there is pro-incumbency wave. Prime Minister Modi addresses two rallies in Madhya Pradesh and one in Mumbai, attacks the Kamal Nath government in Madhya Pradesh. Amit Shah and Yogi Adityanath also participate in public meetings. Ravi Shankar Prasad, Anurag Thakur and Hardeep Puri filed their nomination. Singer Daler Mehndi joins the BJP. Congress President Rahul Gandhi addresses poll rallies in Bihar and Odisha, says Nyay scheme is a surgical strike on poverty, promises employment for the youth. Kamal Nath and Sachin Pilot campaign in Madhya Pradesh, Paranjit Kaur from Patiala, Pawan Bansal from Chandigarh and Sunil Jhakar from Gurdaspur filed their nominations. Other parties also step up campaigning. Mahagathbandhan addresses rally in Jalon. Mayawati and Akhilesh target both Congress and BJP. In Bihar, Rahul Gandhi and Tejasvi Yadav hold joint rally. In Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party accuses BJP candidate Gautam Gambhir of having two voter IDs. Fugitive businessman Nirav Modi's bail rejected by London court. His custody extended by another 28 days. Next date of hearing is May 24th. New revelations in Sri Lanka bomb blast. President Maithripala Sirisena says head of National Tawhid Jamaat Hashim killed in the blast. Police chief of Island Nation also resigns. Share market on the rise. Sensex adds 336 points and closes at 39,067. Nifty also ahead by 112 points. And in sports, Indian pugilists Amit Panghal and Pooja Rani win gold at Asian Boxing Championship in Bangkok. India finishes event with 13 medals, including 2 gold and 4 silver. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today filed his nomination papers for Varanasi Lok Sabha constituency, accompanied by a galaxy of top BJP and NDA leaders in a massive show of strength and unity for the country's ruling alliance. Interestingly, PM Modi exhorted voters to not fall into the trap of those who say that he may have already won the election, so it is okay not to vote anymore. Here's more.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi filing his nomination papers from Varanasi, one of the most high-profile parliamentary constituencies of the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Narendra Damodar Das Modi, who made his parliamentary debut from Varanasi in 2014, filed his papers after seeking the blessings of the Holy Ganga in Kashi. Prime Minister reached the DM's office, which is also the office of the returning officer, at 11 in the morning, where the NDA leaders received and welcomed him. After holding a meeting with the NDA leaders, the Prime Minister entered the nomination hall at around 11:40 a.m., where he was greeted by the 4 proposers of his nomination. He touched the feet of one of his proposers, Annapurna Shukla, and sought her blessings. The Prime Minister then presented the first set of his nomination papers to the District Collector, Surendra Singh, followed by other sets of nomination papers. After completing all the formalities, the Prime Minister read out the undertaking.
ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा.
Annapurna Shukla, the first proposer of the Prime Minister's nomination, belongs to the family of Mahamana Madan Mohal Malviya. Besides social activist Subhash Gupta, agricultural scientist Ramashankar Patel, the chief cremator at Varanasi Jagdish Chaudhary, known as Dom Raja, were also proposers of the Prime Minister's nomination. The Prime Minister expressed his gratitude to the people of Kashi for their love and said that the people of the city are committed to the bright future of India.
ये बाबा की नगरी, मां गंगा के आशीर्वाद, भारत के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए काशीवासी संकल्पबद्ध है. ये जो प्यार, ये दुलार, ये आशीर्वाद काशीवासियों ने दिए हैं, मैं हृदयपूर्वक उनका आभार व्यक्त करता हूं.
The Prime Minister appealed to the voters to peacefully exercise their franchise in the festival of democracy as the remaining phases of polling approach. He warned people against those who he said were trying to create an atmosphere that Modi has already won, and even if they don't vote, it wouldn't matter. Ahead of filing his nomination, the Prime Minister offered prayers at the Baba Kal Bhairav temple, also known as the Kotwal of Kashi. Huge crowds gathered across the road to get a glimpse of the Prime Minister as the cavalcade passed by. The Prime Minister sought the blessings of Baba Kal Bhairav and received the prasad. The Prime Minister then addressed the BJP booth presidents and party workers. The Prime Minister said that love and friendship have fast disappeared from politics and there is a need to have it back. Prime Minister said that it is the first ever election in the history where a wave is on in favor of those in power.
दोस्ती प्रेम ये राजनीति में बहुत जरूरी है, जो धीरे धीरे खत्म हो रही है. हमें वो वापस लाना है. भाईचारा प्रेम वापस लाना है. कोई मोदी को कितनी ही भद्दी गाली दे, आप चिंता मत करो भाई. जिसको जो गाली देनी है वो सारी मोदी के खाते में पोस्ट कर दो.
Prime Minister is contesting from Varanasi for the second time. The Congress has fielded Ajay Rai from the seat, while Shalini Yadav is the SP candidate. After the mega roadshow on Thursday in Varanasi, which saw a sea of humanity thronging the streets of the holy city, the BJP is upbeat and is confident of securing massive support on polling day 2. With inputs from Amritpal Singh, Bureau Report, DD News.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi filed his nomination papers for the Varanasi Lok Sabha seat. He was accompanied by a galaxy of top BJP and NDA leadership in a massive show of strength. More details in this report.
As Prime Minister Narendra Modi filed his nomination papers from his parliamentary constituency in Varanasi, he was flanked by the top leadership of the NDA. While it was a show of unity for the alliance, it also sent a strong challenge to the political opponents. The NDA leaders who stood next to the Prime Minister as he filed his papers included BJP Chief Amit Shah, Union Ministers Rajnath Singh, Sushma Swaraj, Nitin Gadkari, Piyush Goyal and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Besides, Akali Dal leader Prakash Singh Badal, Bihar Chief Minister and JDU leader Nitish Kumar, LJP leader Ramvilas Paswan, Shiv Sena Chief Uddhav Thackeray and Apna Dal leader Anupriya Patel. Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister Paneer Selvam, AIADMK leader Thambi Durai and many leaders from the regional parties in the northeast were present at the Prime Minister's nomination. Earlier, Amit Shah welcomed all the alliance leaders with a shawl, and when Prime Minister Modi reached the collectorate, all leaders came together to welcome him. An image that was captured by many was PM Modi touching the feet of Akali Patriarch and former Chief Minister of Punjab Prakash Singh Badal as a gesture of respect for the veteran leader. The PM held talks with the leaders before filing his papers. The BJP said the presence of the NDA leaders sent out an important message of unity among the allies.
इंडिया का एजेंडा पहले से तय है और हम लोग पहली बार नहीं बैठे हैं, बराबर बैठते रहते हैं, रेगुलर सीटिंग होती रहती है, बैठते भी हैं साथ, चलते भी हैं साथ और लंच और डिनर भी साथ लेते हैं। देश में एनडीए को 3/4 मेजॉरिटी हासिल होगी।
The NDA leaders expressed confidence of winning the elections and Narendra Modi becoming the Prime Minister again.
हम लोग के नेता हैं, नरेंद्र मोदी जी नेता हैं, उनके पीछे हम लोग चट्टान की तरह जितने जो है सहयोगी दल हैं हम लोग खड़े हैं। जीत पक्की है, सरकार बननी भी पक्की है, प्रधानमंत्री बनना भी उनका पक्का है।
गांठजोड़ है वो खुल जाता है, तो ये पता नहीं क्या उनका होगा, कैसे करेंगे, कितने ही प्राइम मिनिस्टर के कैंडिडेट हैं, लेकिन हिंदुस्तान के लोगों ने ये सोचना है कि हमारा प्राइम मिनिस्टर कौन हो। मोदी साहब से मुकाबले में कौन हो सकता है।
We want to give solidarity and our support to Modi ji. Modi is going to definitely win as Prime Minister once again. He is going to get the thumping majority.
While the NDA leaders exude confidence, the Congress does not see them as much of a challenge.
छोटे मोटे जितने भी थे सारे घटक दल बुलाए। इसका मतलब अब उन्हें घटक दलों पर भरोसा रह गया। अब उन्हें विश्वास हो गया कि उनका अपना बहुमत आने का प्रश्न ही नहीं उठता, इसलिए घटक दल लोगों का जमावड़ा वहां पे उन्होंने किया था, तो उनका ये आत्मविश्वास कमजोर हो रहा है।
The NDA leaders believe their show of unity in Varanasi has sent out a clear message to voters across the country. While the opposition is weak and mostly scattered, NDA is united under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi.
If Thursday's roadshow was a show of strength by the BJP, the filing of nomination papers by Prime Minister Modi, accompanied by several and key NDA leaders, was a show of unity of the NDA alliance, sending a key political message that while the opposition is struggling to get its act together, the NDA remains a viable and a strong option for governance. With my colleagues Shailendra Mishra and Harikesh Bahadur Gautam, Amritpal Singh, DD News, Varanasi.
And apart from filing his nomination paper from Varanasi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday also held 2 rallies in Madhya Pradesh while he addressed another rally in Mumbai. Other BJP leaders too campaigned in various parts of the country. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath addressed a public meeting in Kushinagar. Other BJP leaders filed their nomination papers today.
After filing his nomination papers from Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, Prime Minister headed to Madhya Pradesh to address 2 rallies in Siddhi and Jabalpur. He appealed to people to vote in favour of the BJP candidates. Addressing his first rally in Siddhi in Madhya Pradesh, Prime Minister hit out at the state government. He targeted the Congress on corruption, saying it had committed the Tughlaq Road election scam. Talking about the Congress rule in the state, he said Kamal Nath government has resorted to power cuts in the name of halving electricity bills of consumers.
यही कांग्रेस का सच है। गरीब और किसान के नाम पर घोषणाएं करती है, योजनाएं बनाती है और उसी पैसे में घोटाला करती रहती है। दिल्ली से लेकर भोपाल तक कांग्रेस में भ्रष्टाचार ही शिष्टाचार है, लेकिन आपका ये चौकीदार चौकन्ना है।
Prime Minister also addressed another rally in Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh. He said that the 2019 Lok Sabha election is about deciding the future of the youth of the country and shaping the future of this country. Besides Prime Minister Modi, other BJP leaders too were engaged in hectic political campaigns. Amit Shah addressed a public meeting in Jalore in Rajasthan, where he hit out at the Gehlot government in the state.
10 साल तक यूपीए की सरकार थी, सोनिया मनमोहन की सरकार थी, राजस्थान को क्या दिया? अशोक गहलोत जरा जवाब दे जालोर वालों को। 10 साल तक आपकी सरकार, आप भी केंद्र में मंत्री रहे, आपने क्या दिया?
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath addressed a rally in Kushinagar and targeted the SP-BSP alliance. Besides hectic campaigning, filing of nomination papers by BJP leaders too continued on Friday. Senior BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad filed his nomination from Patna Sahib. He also held a roadshow before filing his papers. Senior BJP leader Hardeep Singh Puri filed his nomination from Amritsar, while Anurag Thakur filed his papers from Hamirpur Lok Sabha constituency in Himachal Pradesh.
आपके बीच का सिपाही हूं, मैं भी एक कार्यकर्ता हूं। मैं वादा करता हूं, मैं कभी नहीं कहूंगा ये मेरी जीत है। मैं कहूंगा ये पटना साहब के मतदाताओं का आशीर्वाद है और हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं की जीत है।
In another development, famous Punjabi singer Daler Mehendi joined the Bharatiya Janata Party at its Delhi office in the presence of Delhi BJP chief Manoj Tiwari and Union Minister Vijay Goyal. All in all, hectic campaigning is underway for the remaining phases of the Lok Sabha polls, with inputs from Rama Tyagi and Ajit Trivedi, Newsnight Desk, DD India.
And meanwhile, Congress too has intensified its campaign for the remaining phases of Lok Sabha elections. Congress chief Rahul Gandhi addressed rallies in Samastipur in Bihar and Ahmednagar in Maharashtra, while Congress leader Sachin Pilot addressed a press conference in Jabalpur. Here's more.
Top leaders of various political parties fanned out to various parts of the country to reach out to voters. Congress too has intensified its campaign to garner support for their candidates, as the campaigning for the fourth phase of polls will end at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Congress President Rahul Gandhi on Friday held multiple rallies and public meetings seeking support for Congress candidates. Addressing an election rally in Samastipur in Bihar, Rahul Gandhi reiterated that the Congress party stands for the common people, farmers and the working class. The Congress president promised that if voted to power, the Congress would present a separate budget for farmers ahead of the general budget in Parliament. The Congress president shared the stage for the first time after the general elections were announced with the RJD leader Tejaswi Yadav.
हम सब उनके जेब में से पैसा निकालकर आपकी जेब में डालेंगे। युवाओं को हम रोजगार देना चाहते हैं। मैं आपको गारंटी करता हूं 1 साल के अंदर 22 लाख नौकरियां आपके हवाले में कर दूंगा और वहां नहीं रुकेंगे। 10 लाख पंचायतों में युवाओं को रोजगार दिया जाएगा।
Following his rally in Bihar, Rahul Gandhi headed to Balasore in Odisha. He also addressed another rally in Ahmednagar, Maharashtra. He appealed to the people to vote in favor of the Congress party.
एक साल में हम 5 करोड़ परिवारों को मतलब 25 करोड़ लोगों को दे सकते हैं। आप सोचिए 25 करोड़ लोगों को 72,000 रुपए, 5 करोड़ परिवारों को 72,000 रुपए, 5 साल के 3,60,000 रुपए कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार देने जा रही है। अब ये कहां जाएगा पैसा? सबसे पहले गरीब प्रदेशों में जाएगा, बिहार, उड़ीसा, जो सबसे कमजोर प्रदेश है, जहां ज्यादा गरीबी है, वहां ज्यादा पैसा जाएगा, ज्यादा लोगों को मिलेगा, तो आपको सबसे ज्यादा फायदा होने वाला है। अब यहां पे बहुत सारे लोग हैं, पुरुष भी हैं, महिलाएं भी हैं, तो मैं पुरुषों से कहना चाहता हूं, आप मुझसे गुस्सा मत होना, मगर पैसा महिलाओं के बैंक अकाउंट में जाने वाला है।
Meanwhile, Congress leaders continued filing their nomination papers. Praneeth Kaur, Congress candidate and wife of Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh, filed her nomination from Patiala, while Pawan Kumar Bansal filed his nomination papers from Chandigarh Lok Sabha constituency. Gurdaspur MP Sunil Chakar filed his nomination papers as well.
हर एक चाल फेल होगी साहब, हर एक चाल फेल होगी। असी बहुत सारियां फिल्मां देख लिया।
चुनाव होते हैं, उसमें कैंडिडेट होते हैं, बाकायदा कैंडिडेट होते हैं और औपचारिक तौर पे मुकाबला होता है। वो मुकाबला कांग्रेस और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बीच में ही है, लेकिन मुझे ये विश्वास है लोगों के प्रेम और स्नेह के कारण कि हम उनसे बहुत आगे निकलेंगे, बहुत आगे रहेंगे।
Madhya Pradesh, which has 29 Lok Sabha seats, will have a 4-phase polling starting from April 29. 6 seats will go to the polls in the 4th phase of the Lok Sabha polls. The Congress leader Sachin Pilot addressed a press conference in Jabalpur and hit out at the BJP.
चर्चा होनी चाहिए चुनाव में रोजगार की, उद्योग की, निवेश की, महंगाई कम करने की, नौजवानों को नौकरियां दिलाने की। वो चर्चा से हटकर सिर्फ हिंदू, मुसलमान, मंदिर, मस्जिद, हिंदुस्तान, पाकिस्तान, ये सीमित दायरा चर्चा का रह गया है।
To sum it all up, well, the Congress is leaving no stone unturned to reach out to the voters as its top leaders are engaged in hectic campaigning across the length and breadth of the country. With inputs from Nitendra Singh in Odisha, Bureau Report, DD India.
And campaigning has reached its feverish pitch for the remaining phases of Lok Sabha elections. 71 constituencies spread over 9 states will go to polls in this phase on Monday. And political parties across the country are making the last-ditch effort to sway voters in their favour.
Apart from BJP and Congress, other political parties also intensified campaigning for remaining phases of Lok Sabha elections. With 3 phases down, 242 seats are left in the remaining 4 phases. Top leaders are making a last-gasp effort to sway voters in favour of their respective parties. Beginning from Uttar Pradesh, where BSP Supremo Mayawati and Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav addressed a joint rally in Jalgaon, targeting the Congress. Mayawati said, although the party had been in power for most of the time since independence, its wrong policies and works ultimately led to its ouster. She also alleged that the BJP had made several promises before coming to power, but all of those turned out to be hollow. While addressing the gathering from the same dais, SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is befooling the nation, as earlier he called himself a chaiwala and now he introduced himself as a चौकीदार.
यदि केंद्र में हमें सरकार बनाने का मौका मिलता है तो तब फिर हमारी सरकार यह देश में अति गरीब परिवारों को हर महीने 6,000 रुपए देने के बजाय बल्कि इसके स्थान पर इन्हें सरकारी व गैर सरकारी क्षेत्रों में स्थायी रोजगार देने की ही पूरी व्यवस्था करेगी।
यही गठबंधन है जिसकी वजह से भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोगों की भाषा बदल गई है। हर नेता की भाषा बदली हुई है। उन्हें समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि गठबंधन का मुकाबला कैसे करेंगे। हमें और आपको मिलावटी कह रहे हैं, लेकिन ये भूल गए हैं हम महामिलावट नहीं हैं, हम देश को महापरिवर्तन देने जा रहे हैं, देश को एक नई सरकार देने जा रहे हैं।
Meanwhile, in Bihar, RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav addressed a public rally and promised people that Mahagathbandhan will work for the upliftment of the poor.
हमारी महागठबंधन की सरकार सामाजिक न्याय के साथ साथ आर्थिक न्याय भी गरीबों के साथ करने का काम करेगी। न्याय योजना में मिनिमम गारंटी है जो 12,000 रुपए हर एक परिवार को मिलना ही होगा। यानी देश में ऐसा कोई परिवार नहीं होगा जो 12,000 के नीचे कमाता होगा, और इससे सबसे ज्यादा लाभ बिहार के लोगों को होने जा रहा है। और बिहार में भी पिछड़े समाज के, अति पिछड़े समाज के, दलित और महादलित समाज के लोगों को ये फायदा होने जा रहा है।
In Punjab, Shiromani Akali Dal chief Sukhbir Singh Badal filed his nomination in Firozpur. Before heading to his parliamentary constituency to file his nomination papers, Shiromani Akali Dal President Sukhbir Singh Badal paid obeisance at the Golden Temple along with his wife. They showed confidence that Prime Minister will win with huge majority.
कामनाएं देती हूँ। जैसे पिछली 5 साल से उन्होंने मेहनत करी है, मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि लोग उनकी मेहनत को देखेंगे और देश की अगुवाई करने का मौका।
On Friday, Aam Aadmi Party claimed that the name of East Delhi BJP candidate Gautam Gambhir figures twice in the electoral rolls, and it has filed a criminal complaint against him in Tees Hazari Court over the issue. AAP's East Delhi candidate Atishi said that it is a criminal matter and called for Gambhir's immediate disqualification.
4/2019 को गौतम गंभीर के पास 2 वोटर आईडी कार्ड थे। So the crime has already been committed. Sooner or later for this crime, गौतम गंभीर 1 साल की जेल टर्म के लिए प्रिजन जरूर जाएंगे।
Campaigning has reached its feverish pitch for the 4th phase of general elections. 71 constituencies spread over 9 states will go to polls in this phase on April 29. Newsnight Desk, DD News.
Union Minister Arun Jaitley today asserted that the reaction at the ground after 3 phases of elections suggests a mandate larger than 2014 in the favour of the BJP. Jaitley in a blog said that New India is a positive India. It wants to look up rather than be cynical and critical about their own country. It does not accept the negativism of Rahul Gandhi, Arvind Kejriwal, Mamata Banerjee and TDP. The people have complete trust in Narendra Modi to steer New India. Attacking the Congress, Jaitley said that the party is contesting the 2019 elections on the 1971 agenda. It is not in sync with the times. He also said that the Congress desperation is loud and clear. It seems the Congress has thrown its hands up. He also said that the Congress is in no position to take on regional parties or the BJP in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. noting that only issue in the future phases is the width of margin of the victory of the BJP. He added that the euphoric reaction on the ground suggests a mandate larger than 2014. And that brings us to the issue in focus this evening. We are focusing on general elections phase 4, and that is the issue in focus today. And joining me in the studio is senior journalist Sanjay Kumar Singh. Welcome, Sanjay, to our studios. Now, many seats of the Hindi heartland catapulted the BJP NDA to power in 2014. And they also had a positive news for the Congress in the assembly elections that happened in December last year. How do you see the phase 4 in this context?
See, it's true that BJP won around 90% of seats in Hindi heartland last time.
Yeah.
And also in Western India, and they performed very well in Gujarat, 100 out of 126 out of 26, and performed superbly in Maharashtra. Now, since Southern India, all states are over, then now you have a situation whereby BJP and Congress are pitted in head-to-head situation in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, and UP, in Bihar. Bihar, of course, multi-phase election is going to be there. Then you have also multi-phase election in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. And of course, they are planning to go big on West Bengal and Orissa, that is in East. In that backdrop, Narendra Modi's roadshow in Banaras becomes, I think, strategy-wise, that becomes very important. For 2 days, yesterday and today, he was all over on all TV news channels, and people in the nation actually saw.
And this posturing and symbolism is important in politics, Sanjay. Whether we talk about the show of strength in the roadshow or the show of unity of the NDA today, what signal again for PM Modi as a candidate and also NDA as an alliance?
To begin with, about symbolism that you talked about, look at the symbolism. Today, all NDA allies were present there.
Yeah.
And from northeast, from south, from east, from west, and they of course don't have allies in Orissa and West Bengal. Of course, east, if you minus that, but northeast and south and rest of the country, all towering leaders were present there, all components of northeast, and that was a symbolism that Modi, of course, is going to win. But there was a unity of purpose and also show of strength that we all are one, no matter where we stand. And of course, if we are going to win, and they think that they are going to win, again there would be an NDA government, and these are our pre-poll constituents. Also, the nomination filing, the name of 4 proposers, they belong to varied communities of various social strata and to different caste communities and so on. Contrast that with the nomination filed by Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, whereby they were surrounded by their family members, sister, brother-in-law, mother. Then again, when Sonia Gandhi went to file election, daughter, son-in-law, Robert Vadra, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, and grandchildren, and Rehan and Miraya Vadra were also present. And that kind of people actually see that, and those, if that is a symbolism,
images
the contrasting images, people actually do compare. So therefore, that part of symbolism, the part of popular participation. In fact, you saw from yesterday, from morning till night, people were out on the street. Some people may not have known that Modi is, of course, going to come there in the evening. But the kind of enthusiasm that was there, I saw that enthusiasm in 2017 during assembly elections. I saw that enthusiasm in 2014 when he was to file election. Remember, in 2014 he was a challenger. Had he not delivered on the ground, this kind of popular connect, popular enthusiasm would not have been there through the day, since morning till night, when till the time he was addressing, he was on the road, so he was at banks of Ganga. He was also chanting mantra when priests were kind of performing Ganga
Aarti that took place in the conclusion. And you contrasted the NDA show of unity with the way in which the Congress leaders, the top leadership, filed their nomination. Also, how do you contrast and compare it with the Mahagathbandhan? They're also trying to put forth a united front. They almost are referring to each other as family. Kannauj is going to go for polls in phase 4. Dimple Yadav is the candidate from there, and yesterday we heard Mayawati referring to Dimple Yadav as daughter-in-law. So, what kind of a narrative do you think are they winding to take on the NDA?
See, they are trying to convey that our political alliance has been stretched between SP and BSP, and therefore that social alliance is very important. And therefore, she went to Manpuri, and Mulayam Singh Yadav welcomed her out there.
After 2 decades,
after 23 years, and two sworn enemies coming together on same platform. That was to send a message across. But then, since the most regional parties, with some exception like BJD and JDU, Mayawati's nephew, Akash Anand, was on the dais. Previously, he was there. After Election Commission banned Mayawati from public appearance for 48 hours, she sent her nephew to Agra rally, and here also again in Manpuri he was present. And same way Mulayam Singh, of course, party is his family Kunba. And Mayawati extending saying Meri Bahu, like Mayawati is now part of Yadav family, and therefore that trying to convey that no matter what, now we also have social alliance, and that they are trying to convey that message. I don't know how far that message goes, because ultimately this election is going to go for as to who is going to be Prime Minister. Socially, arithmetic wise, of course, that's a strong combination.
Right.
But election is also about the kind of emotive appeal that you have. Narendra Modi inviting Dome Raja's son, Jagdish Raja, to as one of his proposals, and cleaning feet of Safai Karamcharis in Kumbh. I think that has a larger message for Dalit community also, because and Mayawati, of course, is said to be champion of Dalit cause, and she has a huge constituency there. So that part again is very interesting. That counter that antidote which came from Modi.
We'll have to see how that narrative plays out with the voters. Of course, let's talk about Rajasthan, Sanjay. Now, BJP scored full marks, 25 out of 25 in 2014. Now, it is Congress really has nothing to lose this time. It's the BJP who must defend its exceptional performance. Now, what happened in the assembly elections in December last year? The vote share remained pretty much equal for BJP and the Congress, but Congress could manage to form the government. To what extent has the scene changed from 2014 is what I'd like to know.
See, in last round of assembly election, Congress indeed won these three states, but fact remains that victory was decisive only in Chhattisgarh. These two were hung assemblies.
Despite anti-incumbency.
15 years of anti-incumbency. Madhya Pradesh, of course, BJP had a greater percentage of votes. Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, they were slightly less. And no assembly election, in fact, if you look in the past, BJP except for last election in 2013, when they won these assembly election with tremendous margin, and also on parliamentary elections. If you go back in the past, prior to that, BJP had in 2008, BJP had won all these states and lost parliamentary election. In 2003, BJP again had won all these states, and Congress won in parliament. So no matter, so there is no kind of clear-cut situation. My own experience was that while covering these elections, that even a section of people who actually were going to vote for Congress, they said, come parliamentary election, we'll vote for Modi. So that kind of people have recognized as to in what situation who is going to vote for whom. To my assessment, Congress is not going to gain much. In fact, 25 out of 25 is for BJP. BJP, to my assessment, would not be far from the mark they had achieved.
Okay, Sanjay, if we talk about the issues being a border state, and we've seen how issues of national security, Balakot strikes have stayed at the top of the political narrative in these elections. How significant would that aspect play in Rajasthan, for instance?
That aspect is, of course, playing big on popular mind. And
because that does give an advantage to the BJP.
That does, because Congress actually handed this particular platform plank, nationalism plank, on platter to BJP. And the way some of utterances of Rahul Gandhi, be it JNU incident, be it Balakot, be it surgical strike, and those kind of, and several other Congress leaders saying things which they actually should have been slightly more careful. In fact, on issues of national security and strategic issues and diplomatic issues, there was a convention that nation used to speak in one voice. Now, to election situation, you say that nationalism is a diversion. I don't see nationalism is a diversionary tactic from BJP, because that is part of parcel of till such time you believe in your nation, you are not going to move forward. And also that binds together people, and also there are some real issues, like terror issue is very real issue for the country. And being a border state, Rajasthan people are very
people who
conscious.
suffered firsthand.
Yeah, people have suffered first, and also there are large number of service defense personnel out there, and so I think Rajasthan should be advantage BJP.
And Sanjay, if we move focus to Bihar, again home to a lot of political experiments, Nitish Kumar and Prime Minister Modi coming together for a Lok Sabha election for the first time. Then we have in Begusarai, really one of the only seats where left is making news for putting up a candidate, student leader Kanhaiya Kumar taking on political veterans of the Mahagathbandhan in Bihar and the BJP. How do you see that?
See, Bihar people talk a lot about arithmetic in Uttar Pradesh and giving challenge to BJP. But when it comes to Bihar, they don't talk about arithmetic. Neither do they talk about chemistry. In Bihar, arithmetic of BJP, JDU and LJP combination, you took out any election, is very, very strong. Except for 2004, when Lalu Yadav won 22 seats, Bihar has always favored NDA. Even in times when UP was not with BJP, not good numbers were coming from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar has actually been with the NDA. And in these elections, you have a Prime Minister here, you have Nitish Kumar there as Chief Minister, and I think Bihar is clear advantage NDA, no matter what. And also there were certain problems in NDA, in UPA coalition. They don't call it here UPA coalition, and then ambitions of
Sanjay, we're almost out of time, but very briefly, if you can tell us, in Jabalpur, Prime Minister addressed a rally and spoke about the corruption of the Congress. How significant is corruption an issue as compared to 2014? Congress talks about the Rafale deal, the BJP talks about the corruption and the legacy of the Congress. How do you see corruption as a guiding force in this election?
See, Rafale deal is a talking point in news studio, TV news studios, and of course in newspapers, and because that is being debated, that's our job also, and also in Congress and opposition circles. Beyond that, I have not seen people talking about Rafale or Rafale, whatever Rahul Gandhi is saying, gaining any ground on the gaining any credence on the ground.
All right, Sanjay, there. Thanks very much for joining us for this conversation this evening. And moving on, the Supreme Court directed the Reserve Bank of India (RBI) to disclose information pertaining to its annual inspection report of banks under Right to Information Act, unless they are exempted under law. A bench headed by Justice L. Nageshwar Rao also directed the Federal Bank to review its policy to disclose information relating to banks under RTI, saying it is duty-bound under the law. The bench made it clear that it was giving a last opportunity to it to comply with the provisions of the transparency law. In January this year, the top court had issued contempt notice to RBI for not disclosing annual inspection reports of banks under RTI. Earlier, the Apex Court and the Central Information Commission both held that RBI cannot deny information to an information seeker under the transparency law unless the material is exempted from disclosure under the law. The RBI, in its defense, had said that it cannot disclose information as the annual inspection report of the bank contained fiduciary information as defined under the transparency law. And a UK court further remanded till May 24th fugitive diamond merchant Nirav Modi, who is undergoing extradition proceedings in Britain in the US $1 billion Punjab National Bank fraud and money laundering case. The 48-year-old, who has been behind the bars at Wandsworth Prison in southwest London since his arrest last month, appeared before Westminster Magistrates Court Chief Magistrate Emma Artenbott via video link from the jail. The very brief hearing ended with a judge further remanding Modi till May 24th. She scheduled a full hearing on May 30th. Nirav Modi bail was rejected by Chief Magistrate on March 29th on the grounds that there was a substantial risk that he would fail to surrender. He was arrested by the uniformed Scotland Yard officers on March 19th. In other development, a dozen luxury cars of PNB scam accused businessman Nirav Modi and Mehul Choksi have been auctioned, fetching the government exchequer about rupees 3.29 crore rupees. The Enforcement Directorate had given this input. The vehicles were attached by the agency under Prevention of Money Laundering Act in the past. And some international news now, remembering the deadly Easter Sunday suicide bombing that killed 253 people and over 500 people were injured. President of Sri Lanka, Maithripala Sirisena, in his speech said that the country hopes to stomp out Islamic State activities in the country in the coming days. President Sirisena also said that he had asked the country's Defence Secretary, Hemasiri Fernando, and the police chief, Pujith Jayasundara, to resign following the attacks.
Days after the deadly serial bombings left Sri Lanka in shock and grief, President Maithripala Sirisena confirmed that the alleged ringleader behind Sri Lanka's Easter Sunday bombings, Zaharan Hashim, died in the blast at the Shangri-La Hotel in the capital, Colombo. He also said that Zaharan Hashim, the top leader of the group National Tawheed Jamaat, NTJ, led the attack on the popular tourist hotel, accompanied by a second bomber identified as Ilham. The information came from military intelligence and was based in part on CCTV footage recovered from the scene. Hashim had appeared in a video released by the ISIS group after they claimed the bombings, but his whereabouts after the blasts were not immediately clear. Meanwhile, a series of resignations took place in Sri Lanka following the attack, killing over 250 people. Sri Lanka's top police official also resigned from his post over failures that led to the deadly Easter bomb attacks. The country's defense secretary had already resigned from his post. On Friday, President Sirisena met leaders of all religious groups as he assured that the situation in the country is under control. Sirisena told religious leaders that the government is in touch with foreign intelligence on the investigations.
We have full faith in our forces and police that together they will eliminate terrorism. I believe that we will destroy terror groups from the country.
Amid intensified security, life in Sri Lanka is limping back to normalcy. Relaxation in the curfew was given during the daytime for the ease of the people.
Doordarshan News is standing just right ahead of the St. Anthony's Church in Colombo, whereby the blast took place on Sunday. Well, the situation still remains grim as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. But important aspect is that in order to combat these kind of terrorist activity, Sri Lanka has imposed curfew right from 9 p.m. in the night until 4 a.m. in the morning. But as of now, we can see that markets have gradually opened and people over here are also buying their regular stuff for themselves, which is required for their routine activity.
Meanwhile, ceremonies and events continued across the globe to remember the victims of the attacks and express solidarity with the people of Sri Lanka. In Sydney, a mass of remembrance was held where over 2,000 people held flickering candles and raised their illuminated phones, praying for the victims of what has been described as one of Sri Lanka's worst days. At the same time, amid tight security, Muslims also prayed for peace in the country.
It's a very sad situation. We work with the Christians, Buddhists and Hindus, so it has been a threat for all of us because of these few people, what they have done to this beautiful country.
In Abu Dhabi, the iconic landmark Burj Khalifa lit up with the colours of Sri Lanka's national flag, depicting signs of solidarity with the island nation. Meanwhile, UK and Australia have advised their citizens not to travel to Sri Lanka unless their journey is essential, as terrorists are likely to carry out further attacks in the country. With inputs from Santosh Kumar and Arun Sharma in Colombo. Newsnight Desk, DD India.
And my colleague Arun Sharma is joining us live from Colombo in Sri Lanka. Arun, thanks for joining us. After the deadly Easter bomb blast, disturbing updates have been coming from the island nation, whether we talk about seizures of explosive, the ongoing curfew, or the arrest of number of convicts in this particular case. And we just heard that some explosives were seized also in Ampara town. Just give us an overview of what is the situation like in Sri Lanka as of now.
Well, that's right, Shubhendu. Now, Ampara is in the eastern part, if you look at from Colombo, and Doordarshan News was the first channel from the ground to report it that Ampara over there, primarily the security forces, the army, the police is they have in a continuous raid and security checks. They have found that huge explosives were found in Ampara, and of course the ISIS flag, ISIS logo, the literature related to ISIS were also found over there. Now, one 1 lakh metallic balls were also found as far as the Ampara is concerned. Now there were also explosion and there were also counter gunfight which took place between the people, the 7 people, which were finally arrested by the police over there. So it's a big news that has just come in, and of course the important aspect is that another explosion or another terror bomb blast has been avoided now, because according to the US advisory, it was also said that there are terror plotting being done in Sri Lanka as of now, and on the weekend's time, that means on Saturday and Sunday, another bombing or another terror activity can take place. So of course this has been stopped right away in Ampara, whereby 7 people have been arrested, and these links are of course to the IS as well. So right now let me show you, Shubhendu, that in next 15 minutes the curfew will be imposed here in Sri Lanka. That means from 10 p.m. and the roads over here you can see in Sri Lanka, they're completely vacant, and this is the place where I'm standing. Right 100 meter behind me is the Hotel Cinnamon, the Hotel Shangri-La. They all are here in this one line, and this is the place where actually the blast took place on the Easter. Right now this is a posh area, this is a busy area, but which as of now has completely turned into a ghost city as of now. It's an important update that 7 people have been arrested by local police based on intelligence input, and of course another terror activity has been stopped.
Right, Arun, now as you mentioned that the curfew is going to be imposed from in a few minutes at about 10 in Colombo. Now given the number of people, the suspects that are arrested every day, more and more numbers are added to the list, and the fact that explosives are still being seized, is it also pointing towards perhaps a bigger conspiracy that was planned by the terrorists and not just the deadly Easter Sunday attack?
Well, it seems that the mastermind behind all these things are still planning something big as of now. But yes, because of the fact that security as of now is very much heightened over here. And just imagine this fact, the explosive which were found at Ampara, if they were blasted, more than 200 to 250 people could have died anywhere in Sri Lanka if that explosive could have, exploded. 1 lakh metal balls, and of course the drone. Look at this fact that drone camera has some of the sensitive footage of the important locations of Colombo. That means something bigger was being planned by these outfits which were there in Ampara. Now the moment the blast took place in Easter, what we are learning as of now, these outfits, or primarily these people, they started moving towards Ampara and they were hiding in Ampara with these explosives. Now because of the intelligence input, and of course there are 2 more inputs over there, Shubhendu, that Facebook has also come forward and it has said that it will be sharing the data of all the 140 suspects with all whom these 140 suspects whose primarily the Sri Lankan government is talking about, who were they in connection with, whom were their networking on the social media website. So Facebook has also started sharing the data with the Sri Lankan government.
All right, Arun, very briefly, if I can also ask you, we know that in this deadly attack, several Indians also lost their lives, along with 253 other people, nationals of Sri Lanka and also foreign nationals. If you can just briefly tell us about any advisory for people who are visiting Sri Lanka. We know it's a popular tourist destination as well. Any advisory for people in Sri Lanka or planning to visit Sri Lanka in the coming days?
Well, that's right now. Sri Lanka, as of now, which was supposed to, implement free visa on arrival, primarily visa on arrival from 39 countries. So they have halted that visa on arrival facility from 1st of May 2019. That means this will not be implemented from 1st of May 2019. Right. And all the major countries have come out with the advisories. They have clearly advised that it is safe not to go to Sri Lanka for some time now, and India has also advised for the same. But of course, if in case you're coming to Sri Lanka, proper security checks are being done. Again and again, re-verification is being done by the security officers over here, and that's the only advisory, that be at your hotel if in case you are in Sri Lanka. No need to come out. That's the primary advisory being advised by the Sri Lankan police as well, and from the Indian side, and all the major countries have come out with these kind of advisories.
All right, Arun, appreciate you joining us with those inputs from Colombo in Sri Lanka. So DD News has reached Sri Lanka to take stock of the aftermath of the deadly terror attack that took place on Easter Sunday, which claimed the lives of 253 people. Thanks, Arun, for joining us with those inputs. Moving on, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today visited National Museum of Indian Cinema In Mumbai, he visited different sections of the modern building, including the floor dedicated to Father of the Nation, Mahatma Gandhi, Kids Studio section, Technology and Creativity in Cinema section, and Cinema Across India section were also seen by the Vice President. And later on also visited Gulshan Mahal, that housed in the Heritage Building, displaying static artifacts and also telling the story of Indian cinema in a very interesting chronological form. Vice President said that instrument of cinema should be used for social purposes, including education, enlightenment and entertainment. He emphasized that this Indian Cinema Museum is worth seeing, particularly for the younger generation.
Instrument of cinema purpose for education, for enlightenment, for entertainment. These three should be there in every cinema, and it must be seen in the present day perspective of preserving the need for preserving our culture, our heritage, our traditions, and portray our country and society in a positive manner.
In a tragic incident, a naval officer died today after fire broke out on board INS Vikramaditya, India's only aircraft carrier, while entering the harbour in Karnataka's Karwar. The Navy said in a statement that Lieutenant Commander D.S. Chauhan bravely led the firefighting efforts in the affected compartment. While the fire was brought under control, the officer suffered loss of consciousness owing to the smoke and fumes during the firefighting efforts. He was immediately evacuated to the Naval Hospital at Karwar, INHS Patanjali, for medical attention. However, the officer could not be revived. A board of inquiry to investigate into the circumstances of the incident has been ordered. The Supreme Court has refused to interfere with the Election Commission's order banning the release of biopic on Prime Minister Narendra Modi until May 19th. A bench headed by Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi said it was not inclined to entertain the application filed by the producers of this biopic challenging the Election Commission's order. The counsel appearing for the film producers told the bench that Election Commission's order is contrary to the clearance given to the movie by Central Board of Film Certification. The Election Commission had, on April 22nd, submitted its detailed report to the top court on the biopic, saying that the film was a hagiography which treated the subject with undue reverence, and its public screening during poll campaign would tilt electoral ballots. And now some more stories from across the country in Regional Roundup.
In Gujarat, Surat Sessions Court found Asaram's son Narayan Sai guilty in a rape case. The court will pronounce the sentence on April 30. Two sisters of Surat had filed a complaint in the police in 2013 that Asaram Bapu and Narayan Sai raped her. Delhi's Patiala House Court has given relief to former Union Minister P. Chidambaram and his son Karthi for arrest in the Aircel Maxis case till May 6. Special Judge O.P. Saini gave interim relief to the Chidambaram family after the demand for time to gather evidence by the Enforcement Directorate. The date of next hearing of the matter was fixed on May 6. In the Rohit Shekhar murder case, accused wife Apurva Tiwari has been sent to Saket Court today for 14 days in judicial custody. Delhi police arrested Apurva on Wednesday in connection with the assassination of Rohit Shekhar Tiwari. Central Indirect Taxes and Custom Board have made it easy to use the input tax credits of integrated GST. The Department of Revenue said that the business units which have available funds in the form of integrated GST credits can use it in any amount to adjust the tax liabilities of the state GST and central GST.
Some international stories. Ottawa's mayor declared a state of emergency in the Canadian capital in anticipation of rising floodwaters and heavy rains. No homes have been evacuated, but authorities expect waters along the Ottawa River to rise above levels in 2017 that saw the worst floods in the eastern Canada in half a century. Environment Canada issued a special weather statement predicting up to 35 millimeters of rain by Saturday morning. And this is together with the snow melt that feeds the rivers. Water is expected to rise up to 11 centimeters above peak levels reached in May 2017. On a lighter note, the much-awaited Avengers Endgame movie, the sequel of blockbuster Avengers franchise, was released in India today. The movie by Marvel Studios has been directed by Joe and Anthony Russo. The latest Marvel movie, all but bids farewell to three of the franchise's biggest stars, Black Widow, Captain America and Iron Man. It gets a big send-off moment, but one with the most fanfare is Iron Man. The movie Endgame picks up after events of the 2018 release Avengers Infinity War. According to data, the movie made more than $300 million globally till Thursday. In sports, in boxing, Pooja Rani clinched the second gold medal for India as she finished on top among the women boxers to bring a fine end to the country's phenomenal campaign in the Asian Boxing Championship in Bangkok. India ended the event with 13 medals, 2 gold, 4 silver and 7 bronze in the tournament, which was held simultaneously for men and women for the first time. The 28-year-old Pooja Rani, a silver medalist at the event in 2012, struck gold among the women by defeating China's Wang Dina. And in badminton, it was a bad day in the office for Indian shuttlers as India's challenge at the Badminton Asia Championship 2019 has ended. Saina Nehwal crashed out of the Asian Championship out after losing 13-21, 23-21, 16-21 to third seed Japanese badminton player Akane Yamaguchi in women's singles quarterfinals. With PV Sindhu, the last Indian left in the fray, a lot of medal hopes were pinned on her. However, it was yet another disappointing loss for Sindhu as she lost to world number 17 Kai Yanyan 19-21, 9-21 in the quarterfinals. In men's singles quarterfinal match earlier in the day, Samir Verma too was shown the door after he suffered a 10-21, 12-21 loss to second seed Shi Yuki of China. And with that, we conclude this edition of Newsnight. Namaskar.